All right, welcome back. Uh, I was hesitating quite a while to do this first solo episode, and the reason is that this is actually the first time I'm filming myself on camera. So first time is always nervous. Uh, why I wanted to do the solo one is that now I have done two episodes. Done two episodes, and both of the previous guests were car people. Let's see where I put this one. I think it's here. Both of the guests were car people, and I don't want to focus in cars in this podcast. And this is the first one that's discussing something else than cars only. The reason why I'm doing solo, it's good practice to do alone, but also I got some interest from especially quite fresh friends that they would be interested in hearing what's my background, because of course they have heard the story that I have been in Australia, and also I have worked in the military, but also I've done different stuff in Finland, and some people find it fascinating, and I would like to share it now. First, I would like to get to the kind of like main story that how did I end up starting this podcast? Well, there's like I feel like there's an internet meme at the moment that it's quite stereotypical for almost 30-year-old man to start doing podcast. It's like, well, at least in Finland, it's padel, the ball game, or doing barbecues, or going fishing, or hunting. That's something that 30-year-old guys do, and podcast is one of them. But I didn't start doing this because I feel like everyone else is doing. It feels like almost like a downside that okay, when I want to start doing this, everyone else is doing that, and then I started actually hesitating that okay, should I start it at all, because so many people are at the moment doing this. Just like other young guys, I've been interested in reading self-help books and also listening or watching some popular self-help podcasts aimed for young men, like Modern Wisdom from Chris Williamson, or Diary of CEO from Stephen Bartlett. And I admire those guys, and it's kind of cool that they have all, at least Chris Williamson has started his podcast by just filming himself and also his friends in the kitchen, just like I'm doing at the moment. Stephen Bartlett had some business and then started a podcast from a perspective of our CEO. I'm doing this because the guys are doing a cool job, and I want to do something similar. They get to interview people. I'm interested in other people, and I want to hear their stories. And it sounds like a crazy idea that if I just do this one, and if I continue it enough, I have a chance to meet people around the world and interview maybe some of the authors or artists or business people I have been reading from internet and watching podcast episodes where they have been guests. But let's see where we are ending up in. I got speed to this podcast process, and I kind of decided that okay, this is something I want to do when I was last year in Australia. And well, in Finland, people have a quite good level of English skills considering other people around the world. But of course, it wasn't kind of like fluent that I'm comfortable, for example, listening to music or podcasts without seeing the video. But in Australia, my English got fluent enough that I actually started understanding, for example, podcasts, just the speech, just listening to audio. And I consume lots of podcast content. The idea was there. I was procrastinating quite a long time because the idea came like 1 year ago. And for like over 9 months, I was thinking that should I start it not? And during Christmas break, winter time, I decided, okay, that's something I want to do. That's something I want to do. And then I just asked my friend Hannu, would he like to film a podcast? And we started. Is it still comfortable? I don't know, but just like difficult things in life, you just have to do it, or otherwise you end up doing nothing. So here I am filming my first solo one. Let's see when it's next one, but I hope that it balances out a bit, that I don't have only car people as guests. Because I started doing this podcast at the Nürburgring. We are inside the Nürburgring Nordschleife at the moment, currently at my home. I think that it's pretty fun idea that regardless of the background of the guests I will get in this podcast, there could be like a slight car team that even though the team is something else, I want to ask something regarding cars from them. Let's see if this idea is good. Now I have explained a bit about starting this podcast, but I would like to go to my background at the moment, or actually next. I'm not from a city. I'm from Finland. I'm from countryside, around 1 hour from Helsinki, north from Helsinki, and I would say that I had quite normal childhood, regular family, no big problems, spending time in the countryside, driving, cycling, going swimming, and then of course when getting into teenager age, starting to ride mopeds, drink beer, and that kind of stuff. My professional life started actually when I was a teenager, and when I was one of my first people in my, or first persons in my kind of like age group who started working. And I started my professional career working as just as a general hand during school breaks in a scrapyard. My dad was doing drag racing, so that's obviously my route for the motorsport and cars thing. And there was one guy who worked as a mechanic for my dad. And one day when we were coming back from a racing trip from Sweden, he asked me if I need money and if I want to work on my summer break from the school and come paint like a huge scrap metal bins. And it sounded like a good idea, and actually several years in a row during the breaks from school, I worked for this same company, and the story continues later. It was funny to be in the school because I was the first person from my junior high school who bought a brand new iPhone. I bought it with my own money. It was the iPhone 4S, and of course, like a few months later, they became really, really popular, and I wasn't the only one anymore. I haven't been working only in the scrap metal. I also have been in the military, and as at least Finnish people know that it's mandatory to do military service in Finland. It's called conscription service, and you can spend there between 6 or 12 months. 9 months is also an option. I went there. My initial plan was to go there, try to become like a truck driver and obtain like a full trailer license from the military, and then go back to work in the scrap metal company. That was my plan, but then I got a chance to go for the team leader course, and after that one, the platoon leader course, while maintaining the opportunity to get still the driving license, which was important for me. Before I went to military, I was quite shy and introvert guy, but when I went to the team leader course, I got more courage, and I was able to do teamwork better with people, and also like quite well manage and lead people. And yeah, that was the path, and I went towards the end of my conscription service. Uh, there was a chance that I can try how is to work for the military as a like an instructor, and it sounded like a good idea. I didn't want to go to scrap metal yet, and then I took the chance. I worked as a instructor in the logistics company, the same place where I was in the conscription service, and and I worked both as I worked as an instructor both for the kind of like military driver course, but also the team leader course where I was also studying 1 year earlier. Military's career sounded like a good idea. It was exciting, guns, tanks, cool stuff, and I felt that I am like something. I felt important when I was in the military, and then I decided to apply for the National Defense University to study a bachelor's degree in military sciences and become an officer in the army. I went there, I studied, I specialized in C4, which means like computers, communications, that kind of stuff. So basically radios, antennas, also computers, and kind of like command post stuff. During the end of my studies, I start feeling that okay, this is not for me. I felt that I lost my freedom, especially during COVID. Uh, Government was telling what to do, and the restrictions were quite bad, and I felt uncomfortable. When you go to the National Defense University, some guys know that, or some like outsiders know that you have to commit for that one. So when the government pays that university, well, universities are free in Finland, but you get other cool perks when you are the National Defense University, and there is like a commitment that if you graduate from the school, you have to work for the government for 3 years, which is equivalent for for the uh, for the duration of the school degree, and and then you are a free man if you want to go. But if you want to go, if you graduate and if you want to leave the government, you have to pay almost 10,000 euros, 9,500 euros for the government as kind of like as a fine. I had my back against the wall. I didn't know what to do. I wanted to go away, but I didn't know how can I make it. If I didn't graduate, if I left the government, I would have needed to pay, but then I would have wasted basically 3 years of my life to study but not graduate. I didn't want to be dropout. We had a chat. I went to work also on the university's summer breaks to the scrap metal company that I worked before, and I talked with the owner, and we decided that okay, I go work there, and they will pay the fine for the government. That I'm a free man. I went to the scrap metal company. We had great plans. I was having fun for the start, but then after 2 years, didn't go well in the company, and I decided that okay, I need to find a solution for this one. One of my friends who I met when I was working there, he was working in Australia, and actually that got me interested in going to Australia. I watched a video from a YouTuber and a personal trainer, James Smith. So shout out to James Smith. If he ever watches this video, I doubt not. And he had a video with the title of why you should quit and move to Australia. And that video got me thinking that it would be cool to go to Australia. I didn't have any plans to go work overseas. I thought that, okay, I'm not a traveler type of guy, but I still was curious. we had phone calls with this friend who was working in Australia. He was actually working in a scrap metal company. How convenient. and and then I had the courage to ask him like, okay, does the company you work for, are there any opportunities? There was like a job available for me. I decided to take the leap of faith and go to Australia. At least I knew the guy who was working there. And then I actually 2 weeks later after that one, I I flew to Australia. I started working there. I spent there 1.5 years, and it was a good decision to go there. Working in Australia, it was an experience. It was really cool. I met cool people. I got to practice my English skills. I got more courage. I felt limitless that I'm able to whatever I want, and and I got to travel Australia. I went also to Indonesia, to Bali for one week. So it was an adventure. After 1.5 years, I felt that okay, there are other things I want to also do during my life. I just don't want to do like physical job where I'm waiting that when the workday is ending. And I decided that it's time to do something else. I was asking myself like, okay, what's the something else I could do? What are the things that I want to do during my short life? I was curious about cars. Most of my car friends in Finland, they know more about cars than I do. So I was like, okay, like if these guys aren't working in car industry, why should I? In 2023, I traveled to Nürburgring. So 2 years before this one, I traveled to Nürburgring to Germany. I visited there, and it was a cool place. I was thinking that okay, it would be a kind of cool story if I could tell when I'm a grandpa or something, 80 years old in a rocking chair. If I could tell like people around me that okay, I worked in the I lived and worked in Nürburgring, Germany. So I decided that okay, I want to work with motorsport next. I packed my stuff, went to Finland, bought a car, came to Nürburgring. I didn't have a place where to stay. I didn't have a job ready. I just had a few thousand euros on my bank account, and I wanted to come and work here. That got me to start here at Nürburgring to work with RSR that I'm currently working with, and the rest is history, I would say. Uh, and here in Nürburgring, I got the courage to start this podcast. My first guest was Hanno from Anti Racing. Second guest was Ray from RSR, my colleague, and now I'm doing this solo. And I hope that I will keep continue doing these episodes. There is one tradition in the previous episodes, which is like what's like a cool car memory or one special car from your life you would like to talk about or what you remember. And for me, I would like to tell what it is. When my dad I was running like a motorcycle dealership 15 years ago in Finland. He bought a yellow 997 Porsche Carrera 4S. The color was Speed Kelp, and I remember getting him. I remember him getting this one. He was happy. Cool memories around that car, although they are a bit vague because I was still a young boy, and we did few cool rides in the countryside with my dad. I still have few pictures of the car, and it's a cool memory. Also, there might be an interest why how did I end up working with motorsport and what's my car background. In Finland, I didn't have any professional background with cars or with motorsport, not professional one. But of course my dad was doing muscle cars and track racing, and I was there also driving a bit and hanging around in the pit area. So I got to experience that kind of life. But then my friends were doing like kind of like a recreational hobby style rallycross drifting rally, and also motorcycles. So that got me to get involved in the motorsport, and that's how I got in experience. Uh, there were a few cool events where, with a relatively low budget, you can go do like a drifting track days in Finland. I went to those ones too. It was cool. I did some pit work there, and some like tire changing and that kind of stuff, and helped my friends. I also went for similar kind of trips in rally, so I got some experience with my cars. Of course, also in my uh, for our generations, we have been fortunate enough that we have like simulators where you can practice and actually like start learning how to drive a car on the racetrack. And that's also how I started. At my friend's place, we were playing Gran Turismo, also this old school simulator game called Life for Speed, and that's how I got started, and that's also how I heard about Nürburgring. So before I even came here for first time, of course we played that one. I got everything memorized here. Uh, I don't want to keep this one too long. Important to get started by doing these solo ones, and 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 I want to talk about some deep stuff. So when I was like a teenager, when I was still in elementary school, junior high school, even high school, I had no idea what I want to do in future. I have no idea. I had lost. I was lost. I was lost. I I didn't go to like a criminal path or anything, but I didn't know what I want to do. I kept doing something. I had an idea like what I want to do, and I just kept doing something. And when I have kept this mindset that if I don't feel happy, I need to change something, and I have followed that one, it has started to give me like a momentum. It took me to work for the military. Then I went to learn business in scrap metal. Then I went to Australia. Now I came here, and I feel that if I just keep working here and uh, make myself kind of like prone to opportunities, good things will happen. Also, I think if I continue this podcast, I hope that one day I will have some cool guests here that I thought that I will never get here, and I get to interview those people. I look forward to that one. Uh, One perspective to life also what I have is that although there are some bad things happening around the world, and it's easy to find negative things about life. There are also some quite positive things in modern age. We have YouTube, social media. Both of them create like unrealistic expectations toward life, but also I feel that I'm kind of limitless to explore what life has to offer. For example, there are a few videos that were interviewed style videos where interviewer is asking people like, okay, what do you regret in life? And common theme there is that, okay, I spent too too less time, too little time with the people I love, and I lived life that I didn't want to live. That I lived the life that society kind of like guided me into, and that has got me thinking that, okay, I have a short life. Uh, it's possible to try different kind of things during life, and I try to remember this one. So I continue doing what I do at the moment. Here in the Nürburgring, what was a positive surprise here is that here in the area, lots of cool people around the world, wonderful people. Uh, and common thing is cars are traveling here. The people are traveling here, and this is a good place to meet cool people. And I hope that I keep doing that one, and maybe that takes me forward too. And also, when I think that when you, not personally me, but when you just keep doing stuff, you do good stuff, you are polite to people, you don't do any dumb stuff, you make yourself like uh, you make yourself available for opportunities. And if there are stuff you want to do, many people I think that's so many guys and ladies want to do this kind of stuff, like do podcasting, but they don't ever have the courage to do, and they are just hesitating and procrastinating, just like me. I did that one from 9 months, and then I just decided to grab the camera, ask my friend to join the podcast. The first ones aren't going to be good, but so isn't this first solo one. But it's a start. It's a start. So if there is anything in your life you want to do, uh, just do that one. For the podcast, I started doing this with a low budget. I had some DJI mics. I had few cameras, DJI cameras. I could have been starting to procrastinate even more and start to kind of like delay the starting by getting new camera equipment and that kind of stuff. But actually, I just got like a mic holder from Temu and a few cool LED lights around me that I feel like a professional, and I just got started. So it doesn't need high budget to do stuff you want. Whatever it is in your life, whether you want to start a podcast, you want to pursue your career, you want to go overseas, you want to play an instrument, you want to learn how to make music, just do it. Think what's the next concrete step you can do towards it, and then you just grab the camera, for example, and hit the record button, and the result will be there. I think there are many examples around the world who started by doing like low quality stuff, and then it started to progress. Just like the Modern Wisdom host Chris Williamson did. Few first few years in his kitchen, and then he got popular. I hope that when I continue to do this stuff, I will have more people to interview, and hopefully some amazing guests that I thought that I could never have here.